11b, glucose and other carbohydrates are present in respiring cells. The concentration of carbohydrate molecules vary between tissues. The students conducted tests on 3 tissues, A, B and C, and Table 2 shows the results of these. So we've got the 3 tissues and then we can see the various tests. So the Benedict's test is going to be testing for a reducing sugar, and if a reducing sugar is present, then we would expect the colour change to go from blue to a reddy orangey colour if there was a reducing sugar present. The colour after the treatment with hydrochloric acid and the Benedict's test is if you have a non-reducing sugar. So initially it could have a negative test with the Benedict's test, but then once you have added the hydrochloric acid and then you've gone through the Benedict's test again, you can identify whether there is a non-reducing sugar there. The iodine test is where you would add iodine to try and identify starch, and you would expect it to go from an orangey yellow colour to a blue-black colour if starch is present. So 2 of the tissues were known to be phloem tissue and liver tissue. So the phloem is part of the plant and the liver is part of an animal. So use the evidence in Table 2 to identify which one is the phloem and which one is the liver. So we would look for the phloem to be B, and we know it would be B because the phloem would contain sucrose or a non-reducing sugar. It would contain this because after photosynthesis the leaves are going to produce the sucrose. This will then be loaded into the phloem. It will be actively loaded to move from the source down to the sink, so that the leaves are producing the sucrose, but the sucrose is still being able to travel down to the roots where there is no photosynthesis happening. We're seeing that there is a non-reducing sugar present in B because we are getting a red colour once we have done the treatment with hydrochloric acid and the Benedict's test. So we're seeing that it's been broken down to a monosaccharide. Tissue A is going to be the liver because the starch will only be found in plant cells. So the only one that has a negative test for starch is A, so therefore we can conclude that that must be the animal cell, so that must be the liver.